at least 10 to 15 complaints by young women who came up to them crying, seeking their help, saying that when we were in the crowd, we were abused, molested and groped by people from within the mob.
And youngsters were almost like Westerners. They tried to copy the Western, not only in their mindset, but even the dressing. So, some disturbance, some girls are harassed, these kind of things do happen.
Last 35 years I am seeing this is happening, not first time. Maybe this time it has been specifically pointed out from some incidents.
Within 10 minutes there are some 20 such cases, like women coming towards police seeking help. Clearly they were abused or molested for sure.
What we as a group did was we made sure that when we went out there were enough guys around, because we knew that safety to a certain extent is an issue. Yeah, they were passing comments, and even I was out there and there was a huge crowd and police were also there. But yeah, there were unwanted people, they were around and they were having fun. So the security was not up to mark.
It was really, really dangerous. It was a very bad experience for me as a tourist. So I don't think it was a safe experience for me in India this time. I didn't like it.
There was lapse of security. There are hundreds of thousands of people walking. You can't stop anyone. It's not possible, and they drink.
You need to have better security so that this doesn't happen again. There should have been more security. They should have improved actually, but I feel it's still insecure. Girls are still insecure in this country.
What a moment of horror and shame for us all as Indians and citizens. Mob mass molestation of women in the streets of Bangalore on New Year's Eve. Cosmopolitan, technology-driven Bangalore. Not a single case has been registered despite videographic evidence. And to make matters worse, we have the Home Minister, whose primary responsibility is law and order, saying that this happened because women were wearing Western clothes. We have a DCP saying that this happens every year. It's just this year that the media is making a big fuss about it. This is not about morality and culture, viewers. This is about a government and a police force that's just unable to do its job. And it's willing to pin the blame on just anybody else, including the victims, to give themselves a clean chit. The only reason the men on the streets of Bangalore did what they did is because they believed they could get away with it. Because they believed that the government would make the excuses that the government is making today. They knew the police force would not file a single complaint, which is what the police force has done today. They've thrown up their hands and said, we've put 1,500 people there. If they weren't able to do anything, they weren't able to do anything. That is the sorry excuse we're getting from the law and order machinery of a city like Bangalore, where the women are not safe. Isn't it time we demanded more from our governments? Isn't it time that as women, as half the population of this country, we stand up and demand that we be taken more seriously? Joining me on the show today, along with your voices, because our phone lines are open, Brinda Adige Social Activist, joining me from Bangalore, Vikram Singh, former DGP of UP, who will tell us whether or not it was possible, in fact, for the police to get the situation under control. Naveen Chomal is a senior advocate. We also have Suraj M.N. Hegde is the secretary of the AICC from Bangalore. Aijaz Ilmi, the leader at BJP. Aishwarya Bhati is an advocate to the Supreme Court. And Dr. Poornima Advani is the former chairperson of the National Commission for Women. I'm going to start with Vikram Singh. Vikram Singh, the government has constantly turned around and said there was a lot of police bandobast, but there was nothing the police could do. I want you to help us understand, and I want you to help our viewers understand, 1,500 police officers, is there nothing the police could have done that night?
Faye, I have seldom felt so ashamed and so appalled by this impotent, you will forgive me for this impotent defense. 1,500 men translates into more than 2 battalion plus of a police force. Are you there? Pussycat, pussycat, where have you been? I frightened a little mouse under the chair. You had no sense of purpose. You were silent spectators. And I dare say, this does not happen anywhere. It happens there where people and the police officers are mute spectators to this nightmare, to this horrendous behavior of the lecherous louts whom you let loose. And there is the free-for-all. Was there a briefing of the policemen? Did you install, were there preventive arrests? Were there people in plain clothes? Obviously, none of these security systems were in position. This is not an answer that a professional police officer will ever give. And last but not the least, if in your hearts and your minds as a senior police officer, you say, nobody is going to cast a lecherous eye to my daughters, and if they do so, then the might of the law will come upon them like a ton of bricks, and they will not, repeat, never look towards their side ever. But obviously nothing like that happened. To the contrary, such lame excuses, perverse excuses have come which would shame any professional police officer or any Indian. What has dress got to do with it? Have we not heard of rapes of dead bodies? Have we not heard of rapes of elderly women in their 90s? What are we talking about?
I want to bring in Brinda Adige. Right, Vikram Singh, I want to bring in Brinda Adige. Brinda, this is not my Bangalore. I know this is not your Bangalore. This is not the city we grew up in, where this sort of thing happens on the streets of the city. Complete clean chit. Not a single case has been filed. How did things get this bad? Who is in charge of law and order in this city?
Yes, it is shameful because this is not my Bangalore, and like you said, certainly not yours also. Bangalore today is a cosmopolitan city, and so we have people from all over India, in fact from different parts of the world also. But 31st celebration has been going on year after year. We have heard cases every year of this nature, but this time it has reached a depth and intensity where we need to ask ourselves, why are we not taking responsibility? Yes, as a community we should take responsibility, but we are now asking, what did the police do?
Yes.
Could they not have taken suo motu action? Do they require a complaint to be written, only then action to be taken? Because we know constitutional provisions that a citizen can make a verbal complaint to the police. And that was done. Not by one or two women, several women who were there. So why was action not taken? And why were these men who were pointed out saying these are groping, they are molesting, they are assaulting, taken into preventive custody? Why is the mindset continuing that why are women celebrating over there? Because there has been this implication all through today. We've also heard people saying that Western mindsets and Western clothing. I think we should move out of this, take responsibility and say that it has nothing to do with attire, it has nothing to do with clothing. There was one person who spoke saying that his sister and wife were fully clothed, if I may use quote unquote. Even then they were groped and molested. Why would the police not take action? We've also seen in the past when a case on 354 IPC has been filed, the court has not taken this seriously. No punishment has been meted out to these people. So the law of the land is there, but these men with this kind of depraved mindsets are not afraid, are not scared.
You know, Brinda, I think we should make it very clear that this sort of blaming the victim is it's just excuses.
Absolutely not acceptable.
For people who haven't been able to do their job. Suraj Hegde, for the Home Minister of Karnataka to turn around and blame the victims and say young people are almost like Westerners because of the way they dress and because of the way they celebrate, and there's very little that the government can do to maintain law and order. Shouldn't he at least turn around and say, that's not what I meant, I should apologize? Because what he's done is made things so much worse for the women of this city who are, who have nobody to trust, least of all the government right now.
Exactly. There is a person in authority, the policeman or woman.
First of all, I would like to wish all your viewers a very happy new year.
But Suraj Hegde, it's a terrible start to a new year here in Bangalore at least. I appreciate the fact that you're wishing us happy new year, but it's not a great new year. It's not a great way to start.
But just let me add to what you're talking about. I would congratulate the media for highlighting this issue. But since this issue has come up, and after we have got footages, I think the government has suo motu started to look into these footages. And they have started taking action on this too. I would like to tell you, there are similar incidents that would have happened. There's an incident that has happened in Kalangut in Goa. Why is it that only Karnataka or the people, just because of a few rotten apples.
But hang on. Don't make more excuses on my show, Suraj Hegde. One second, Suraj Hegde, let me point out to you that on this channel at least, we spare no one. We've pulled up the government in Haryana, we've pulled up the government in Maharashtra, we pulled up the government in Madhya Pradesh, and now we're pulling up the government in Karnataka because we take women's safety very, very seriously. Now, whether it was a stray incident, according to you, or it was rape and murder, and let me read out to you, sir, let me read out to you what happens in the city of Bangalore. A 20-year-old on the 26th of July 2014 was molested by a group of people in Koramangala. This happened under your government's watch. This is constantly happening under your government's watch. There are constant cases of molestation. There was one young lady who was molested by a group of people outside her college in Bangalore. So don't tell me that we're singling you out and don't play politics here. This is not about politics. You are the government of the day and we want accountability.
I'm not trying to single out a stray case. I'm not trying to single out a stray case. I'm telling whoever is responsible should be punished. Whoever is responsible should be booked.
And when will that happen?
Whoever is responsible should be brought under whatever is the legal course and the law. Yeah. They've started looking into the tapes. I think it is going to happen very soon.
Very soon. That's another way open-ended thing to say.
All the policemen also. Usually in Bangalore, we have seen earlier.
You have a DCP who turned around and told the media this morning that this sort of thing happens every year. The media is fussing about it now. If the media had not fussed about it, this thing is happening every year. So which means that the police force is aware of the fact and you've let it become this bad by not acting on it over the last few years. And now you are telling me that because the media is making a fuss, the government is now taking it up. So is it the media's job to tell the government what and how to...
policemen were deployed there. No. See, if 1,500 policemen were deployed there,
what were they doing?
That means to say they have taken their precautionary measures to look into how it can be curtailed.
Yeah, I want to bring in the other voices at this point.
They have also done their part. If you see, it's the lady police who's trying to protect the lady. A lady police is who are trying to escort the person who's already in, whatever pain she is. And they have tried to do their level best. Blaming the department for an incident is not the right approach, I think, because you should be given the time to look into whoever is in charge and whoever has done all these things and then book them under the law.
Vikram Singh, whose responsibility is law and order in any city?
I would tell you, Faye, that the deployment of 1,500 men is a massive investment of manpower and money and material. And if they do not rise to the occasion, you have to have a lessons drawn exercise. Why did they falter? Why did they fail? And they failed because they did not have a sense of purpose and no proper leadership.
Right. I want to bring in Aijaz Ilmi, leader BJP. Aijaz Ilmi, there's a need for accountability here within the police force of Karnataka and within the government, and for these straight loose statements that are being made, which is simply unforgivable, coming in from ministers or nethas looking to give themselves a clean chit. Where does the accountability, Aijaz Ilmi, finally lie in this incident? All right, we seem to have lost that connection. I'm going to take that same question to Dr. Poornima Advani. Pam, where does the accountability finally lie?
The accountability clearly lies with the law enforcement agencies whose duty it is to ensure that the state is safe, whether it is New Year revelry or any other time. It is not sufficient to state that there were 1,500 police deployed. It is more important to note whether those 1,500 police who were deployed were adequately trained to deal with such a situation as has been happening on New Year's Eve. That's one point. Second, I don't think it would lie in the mouth of any law enforcement individual agency to state or put the blame on the victim to say that the victim was not adequately dressed, or that there is a Western or Eastern mindset. I don't think that is in the right taste. It is important to at least take up the responsibility, to own the responsibility, and to see what can be done. One thing that I have found lacking is, have the policemen, have the law enforcement agencies made it very clear to the people, to the public, as to what would be the consequences that would fall on any person who outraged the modesty of the woman. It would have been in keeping and important for them to make a public statement of this in advance, so that those who intend to be law violators know of the consequences that would follow. I think this was starkly missing. Therefore, merely putting in such huge manpower, machinery is not sufficient. Proper, adequate strategy, training, and out-of-the-box thinking on how to do, what to do at the right time is important.
Aishwarya Bhati, I would have preferred if the government just came out and told the women and the citizens of Bangalore that, listen, we're going to put police officers on the road, but if someone chooses to molest you, there's really nothing much the police officer can do. So you should ideally wear a sari and stay at home, because that's where you'll be safe, because obviously that's the message that the government is sending out to the women of Bangalore. Aishwarya.
I want to comment.
Right, Brinda Adige, go ahead. Brinda Adige.
Okay, Faye, I want to comment on...
I completely agree with you. And I was going to say the same thing, that if this is how the machinery, the law and order, the police, the entire state machinery is going to behave, then you might as well just say that, you know, your cities are not livable. Then don't call your cities maximum cities.
Don't call your cities maximum cities. Don't call your cities cosmopolitan.
Yeah. Don't call them maximum cities.
Brinda Adige, wear a sari and stay at home.
The women are not going to be safe if they can't come out and celebrate a New Year's Eve in the open and without being molested, groped and all that, then might as well just get it over with.
Brinda Adige.
You know what I find most appalling and really...
Brinda Adige, go ahead.
What I find most appalling and completely disconnecting is the fact that no action has been taken so far. You know, somebody was saying that, do we have to wait for complaints to be made by the complainants? No, these are cognizable offences. After the amendment in the Indian Penal Code, after the Nirbhaya case, the amendments that have been made in the IPC, these offences are cognizable offences. And without any complaint being made by the victim or any of their family members, the state machinery, the police is duty bound to take cognizance of these offences, register FIRs and take action. I mean, there are video clippings, there are photographs of all this unruly behavior, completely depraved behavior that is happening, and the police is turning a blind eye. They have nothing to say or nothing to do. Please shut down the cities if this is how it's going to be.
No, why do you think the police is turning a blind eye? How do you assume that they are turning a blind eye? Because the police also are doing their duty, but they have to do it diligently and they have their processes in place. I think we should give the police the time to do and perform with their duty.
No, but Suraj Hegde, if the police had done their job, we wouldn't be having this conversation, Suraj Hegde.
We can't maintain law and order.
No. If the police had maintained law and order, Suraj Hegde, we wouldn't be having this conversation at all.
Report should not wait. Today we are in the evening of 2nd January 2017. This incident is of 31st night.
Aijaz Ilmi, I'm going to bring in Aijaz Ilmi. There seems to be a lack of accountability here, Aijaz Ilmi. Where does the accountability lie when it comes to an incident like it? We still don't have Aijaz Ilmi right here. Naveen Chomal, go ahead.
See, Mr. Suraj Hegde, please appreciate this particular type of offence which doesn't require police some time to take action. The police ought to have taken action at that very same moment. This is not a case of some cheating or something where police can investigate casually and then take their own time. But this is a case which requires immediate police action. So the way the police have been trying to absolve themselves and the way their Home Minister is speaking that the women are not properly dressed, so these incidents are going to happen. That is absolutely shamelessness on the part of the Home Minister of Karnataka. Please appreciate that whatever woman wear, that doesn't give license to men to molest them. And this is not a stray case. Groups of people have been going on, which we are seeing on the screens. So police should have been more alert, and even if that would have happened, the next action of the police should have been very firm and very decisive. What do you have to say about it?
Well, I'm going to bring in Suraj Hegde right now. Suraj
I would
Hegde,
like to assure you that...
Yes, go ahead, Suraj Hegde.
I would like to assure you and tell you that the Home Minister of Karnataka is a very sensitive person to these sort of incidents.
No, but his statement is totally contrary to what you are saying.
He has also tried to spell out the same thing.
The statement seems to be pretty
and his actions are also in the same direction.
What action? No action.
The investigations are on.
Trying to justify that.
I think we are trying to come
to be taken. See, what you are saying is totally contrary to what the police and the Home Minister are saying.
No, see, I am not trying to justify... I'm not trying to justify sorry, just a minute, sir. I'm not trying to justify telling somebody's dress should be the thing for provocating a person to do anything. This mindset is not tolerable at all. This mindset is not tolerable at all. Whoever is responsible needs to be booked.
That is a very general statement.
Suraj Hegde, I agree that whoever is responsible needs to be booked, and I'll bring in Vikram Singh here. But how is that going to happen if we are faced with a police head who says this happens every year, you're just making a fuss about it? If we have a Home Minister who's in charge of law and order who turns around and blames the victim? I agree with you that everyone needs to be booked, but how are we going to do it if the people in power do not take these incidents seriously? They're obviously not taking these incidents seriously, otherwise we would have had more sensitive comments from both of them.
Very true, Faye. The first thing that we were serious about controlling the situation was preventive arrest. Preventive arrest of old die-hard perverts. By 31st, you should have had at least a large number of preventive arrests. I don't think you made a single preventive arrest. Then we come to the lodging of the FIR. You had so much of incontrovertible evidence and it took you 48 hours to lodge an FIR under section 354A of the IPC. As one of the lady panelists said, it's a non-cognizable, non-bailable offence. It should have come on the first day itself without the complainant. Do you think any lady would have the strength or the courage or even the inclination to go and lodge to an insensitive police station? Then the third is, by this time, sir, the police should have given a fair account of itself and booked the diehards, at least 10 of them, under the National Security Act to give a no-nonsense message to all perverts in Bengaluru that you look this side and this is what will happen to you. Legally speaking, you will be smashed into pieces, smithereens, so to say. But obviously nothing tangible has happened because I don't know, for whatever reasons, their mindset and the minds are not wired in the right direction. You are quoting a recipe of disaster. This is no way to enhance the credibility of the police department. If you really have any shame left, you will come down heavily like a ton of bricks on all the perverts and you will say, not I won't speak, my racket will speak, and put behind bars all the perverts in the next 24 hours. Because if you do not, your credibility will take a beating for all times to come.
But, I want to bring in Aijaz Ilmi, and from what Vikram Singh says, the thing that concerns me most of all is the lack of respect and the lack of fear for the police. If there were 1,500 police officers present in that location and this is what played out, then is it because the people of Bangalore are unafraid of their police because they believe that the police has absolutely no ability to control the crowd? Aijaz Ilmi, does the police not matter in Bangalore? Are they not taken seriously?
The police does matter, but in this case, there is no political will. We've seen successive Home Ministers give ridiculous, ludicrous statements. First, we had Mr. K.J. George, who said gang rape by two men is not gang rape. And then we have this new minister, Mr. Parveshwarappa, who's talking nonsense that these things happen. It's a pensioner's paradise, not a molester's paradise. You destroyed brand Bangalore forever. I mean, Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi, they're so concerned about the Congress governments, they should sack this ridiculous Home Minister straightforward. And I hope the Congress spokesperson can convey it. You have a women president for the Congress party. You've got to be sensitive to something as despicable, as horrid as something what has happened on New Year's Eve in Bangalore.
See, one stray incident which can understand that the police have missed that particular thing. But here the case has been that there have been several groups of boys or rather men roaming on the streets, and it was free for all, and the woman was like a private property for them, molest them at will. So ultimately the police has somewhere failed, and the political field behind them, they should have taken firm action against the police also.
I just want to play out this bite one more time for our entire panel, and I know that it came out this morning, but just to understand what we're talking about and the level of insensitivity that we're talking about, this is the Home Minister of Karnataka, and I'll play the whole thing out so you can really hear what he's saying. This is his response to what happened in Bangalore over New Year's Eve.
Events like New Year or events like Christmas Day or many other events similar to that. There are, women harassed or treated badly. These kind of things do happen. But we do take, proper kind of care. We also take some precautionary measures. In fact, police now and then informed, that this is a area which we have to be extremely careful. But unfortunately, what is happening is, as I said, days like New Year events, Brigade Road, Commercial Street, or MG Road, a large number of youngsters gather, and youngsters were almost like Westerners. They try to copy the Western, not only in their mindset, but even the dressing. So, some disturbance, some girls are harassed, these kind of things do happen. That is why, in fact, this year we had deployed more than 1,500 policemen and also women, mainly in plain clothes, so that, we can regulate them. It's very difficult, of course, but then again, we can't just close our eyes and keep quiet. We will definitely look into the incidents happened in this year's New Year event, but also we will have to apply our mind that whether we have to have some alternatives. We don't know yet. We will see, we will discuss with our senior officers. We will see if there are any alternatives to this kind of events so that women and children are safe. People coming from outside, of all kinds of people, different states, different culture, and we can't really say that, okay, you have to behave only like this. You have to dress up only like Kannadigas, or you have to dress up only like this. It is difficult to, regulate these kind of things. I mean, nightlife, yes, nightlife not on every day. Every day nightlife is definitely regulated in Bangalore. But on a day like New Year or a Christmas or any event, definitely it has to have a different approach. We will look into those things.
Here's what's being said. On Christmas and New Year, women get harassed. It happens. These incidents happen. Large number of youngsters gather dressed like Westerners, and women get molested. These things happen. We can't tell people from outside to dress like Kannadigas. Apparently, women who dress like Kannadigas don't get molested. I'm going to take that to Brinda Adige. This comes back to wear a sari and sit at home, Brinda Adige. Dress like a Kannadiga?
Exactly.
What does that mean?
I don't know what that means, because I know for sure that even if there was a statement made that you wear sari and go there and be this nice Bharatiya Nari, men would have molested and assaulted. And then there would be the other issue, why are you not wearing long sleeve blouse? Why did you not get into a burqa? Because you need to be safe. Do people actually think that if we wear a sari and we wear a burqa, that is a cloak of protection and nothing will happen to us? These things happen almost on a daily basis. In this particular incident, we have seen that a lot of people took advantage of the crowd, the situation, and went about molesting and assaulting women. The women walked up to policemen and women and told them that these things are happening. Why were those people not rounded up? Why were they not taken into protective custody? Why would we continue to be told that you wear these kind of dresses and nothing will happen to you? This is false. I cannot understand from where this perception has come that women in saris are safe. I wear a sari and I don't think I'm safe.
Dr. Poornima Advani also wants to comment. And you know, the thing that really bothers me here is to say that on Christmas and New Year, these things will happen. So on days of festivals, women are not safe. What does that mean? Does that mean that women should not go out on special days? That if it's Christmas and New Year, then you should expect to be molested because that is part of the festivities in Bangalore. That is how young men enjoy themselves. It's alcohol and dancing, and they help themselves to the women who are also out there partying. What does that mean? On Christmas and New Year, and I'm quoting, women are harassed. Dr. Advani.
I think it's a stark patriarchal attitude that you could see. And this is just like, it's a given that women are going to be molested on such days, and this just happens. And if this is the attitude of the persons who are in positions of power, then I am not surprised that those who are in charge of law enforcement have a complete lackadaisical attitude, because the message they have from above is that this happens every time and this is going to happen in Christmas and New Year, so let it happen. This just is unacceptable. It is extremely crucial. I think what is lacking is a political will which has failed to project itself, and therefore naturally and consequentially it has failed to translate itself into the officers and other persons who are in charge of protecting the citizens. This is quite apparent. If there is any bit of shame and political will left, it is extremely crucial to ensure that the police force is motivated, that they know that if they do not perform, there would be consequences that follow. I remember when I was in the National Commission for Women, we had clearly recommended that in the annual confidential report of every police officer, there should be a specific clause stating how gender sensitive is the police officer. And if the police officer has any report of being not gender sensitive, then promotions should be held up and consequences should follow. Unless and until such kind of steps are taken and the police knows that they are going to suffer if they are not able to protect women folk, we are not going to be able to see the results. I think this is nothing but a complete lackadaisical attitude which needs to be completely controlled.
All right, I'm going to bring in Suraj Hegde and then Rahul Easwar. Suraj Hegde, what Dr. Advani is saying is very important. The fact that, first of all, if the police is hearing these comments from the Home Ministry, it's going to not take these incidents seriously. But worse still, the citizens who hear these sort of comments from the Home Ministry are going to think it's okay. They're going to think that on Christmas and New Year, that the women are free for all. They're going to think that on Christmas and New Year, if there's a large group of people gathered together, then you can help yourself to whatever you want, because that sounds like the message that the state government is sending out. So, okay, Rahul Easwar first, because Rahul Easwar joined us on this conversation, and then Suraj Hegde. Very demeaning message being sent out. Rahul Easwar.
Please don't take it to extreme lines. Please don't overstretch arguments or take it to extreme lines. Everybody is against perverts and criminals, and they should definitely be locked up and given the harshest of punishment.
So what is the extreme line?
But for God's sake, please don't confuse concern with chauvinism. Please don't confuse care with patriarchy. Their concern is different, chauvinism is different, care is different, patriarchy is different. We should be realistic when we deal with such things. There are a lot of such kind of perverts out in the world. If some person who has concern and care for these girls, tell them, please take care. These are festive season. Lot of people gather. Many people are perverts. Our girls have to take care of themselves. Is it such a bad thing to say?
So please don't take care. No. Rahul Easwar, define take care. Define take care. What do you mean by take care?
A case of
please define what you're talking about. Girls have to take care of.
So Rahul Easwar,
care simply means take care simply means there are just one line. Take care simply means every 20 minutes
law and order is a citizen's
in India. It's a reality.
Right.
Every 40 minutes a woman is molested. It is
the safety and security of a woman and every other citizen is a right of the state government.
There are many bad people in the world.
What are you trying to say?
Please do take extra care.
Yes.
No. Whose fault is that? How? Okay, so tell me
And
something,
only
Rahul
who said all
Ishwar. Tell me
perverts
this.
should be punished,
Rahul Ishwar,
but
tell
our
me this.
people
Rahul
should
Ishwar.
take extra
Rahul
care
Ishwar.
when they go to such places.
Rahul Ishwar. There was a 24-year-old girl in Mumbai 1 month ago who was raped, murdered and set on fire in her own bedroom. Was she not taking care? Was she not safe in her bedroom? She had gone home and locked the door. She had gone to sleep in her own bedroom. How much more care do the women of this country need to take? How much more do we have to listen to this sort of masochist, sort of
Very
horrible
pertinent
things
question.
that are said to
When
us
a woman,
all the time?
A very pertinent question. Thank you for raising that. Thank you for raising that. Even a girl who is inside her own home is not per se very safe. So what about these women going into roads in such festive and overcrowded
So where
season?
should we go?
When a minister
Rahul
says,
Ishwar, where should
please,
the
so
women
road
of
belongs
this
only to
country
men?
go?
Paternal aspect, not a patriarchal aspect.
Why don't you put all the men perverts in the jails, in the
Please
zoo?
don't overstretch any argument.
And
Please
lock them
don't
up.
get these arguments to extreme lines. Let us
These
be
are just-
realistic
these are
in these
just
things.
excuses.
You
These
are
are
going
just
to an
excuses
extreme
of
perpetrator.
perpetrators.
We don't see
You are
Brinda
putting the
Adige,
responsibility
Brinda Adige,
on the
and then
woman to take
Vikram
care of
Agarwal.
herself.
Vikram Agarwal.
See, madam, we all want unlimited freedom. We want unlimited freedom for men and women. But having said that, we only have responsible freedom. That's the
What is
reality. Please
responsible
be
freedom?
realistic.
What is responsible freedom? And I'm
And
going to
so
bring in,
why
I'm going to
are
bring in
the
Brinda
men
and
not
Aishwarya here.
utilizing that responsible freedom? Why is freedom not being utilized responsibly by the men?
Yeah, I do want to come
How
in.
dare you say that women should take care?
Because they are perverts. They should be locked up.
Aishwarya, don't men have to be
Because
responsible
these
when
people
they
are
go
perverts.
out
There
and
are
party?
many
Don't they have to be
criminals.
responsible?
They should be
So
locked
you
up.
tell the men
But does
that you
mean
don't know how
when
to
my
use
sister
freedom?
or my daughter
So you
goes,
need to be
I
now
should tell them
caged and
not to
locked.
take care.
No, I think
Just one line. For God's sake, please stop pretending that everyone else is a pervert and a molester. There are a lot of perverts out there. I only mean when my sister or my daughter or my friend goes out, when I tell them to take care, it is out of concern. Not because I am with a pervert, not because I am with a patriarchal mindset. It is out of a genuine sense of care and friendship. We tell that there are many bad people in the world. You should take care. Please don't make everything a fight against patriarchy.
Aishwarya,
This kind
Aishwarya
of
Bhati,
pseudo-feminism
Aishwarya
won't
Bhati.
get us anywhere.
But you are
Aishwarya
putting
Bhati.
the entire onus on the woman.
One second, let Aishwarya make a point.
here.
Yes.
I do want to come in here. Yeah, I want to come in here. You know, there are three things that we need to very clearly understand. All the offenses that are offenses against women, offenses from rape to stalking to eve teasing to molestation to voyeurism, now there are a barrage of offenses that have been added. Mr. Rahul Ishwar, these offenses are not about care, concern or freedom. These are hate crimes. I strongly believe that all crimes that happen against women are in the category of hate crimes because they reflect that depraved and perverted mindset of the accused who's committing those crimes because he thinks that women are the weaker sex and he can get away with doing anything against women. And therefore, you have to understand that these kind of crimes need to be dealt with at a completely different level and platitude. The second issue here is that the very fact that the authorities, the police, the governmental agencies have taken no steps, even after commission of these cognizable offences, after 2 days of the time passing by, that is a very, very serious concern to me. And the third and the most shocking part of it is the kind of statements that are coming from the governmental agencies and authorities who should be saying that no strictest action should be taken and would be taken and do take some strict action. Instead of that, the kind of language that they are using is so casual, as if it is all right to do this. It is a done thing. It is nothing big if you have done all these kind of things with women. So that is a very, very sick mental attitude. So if you see all of these three things together, that these offenses are hate crimes, no action is taken, and the authorities treat it as
please let me come in. Please let me come in.
One second. Naveen Chomal, very quickly, and then I'll take you to
Just one line.
No, please, Aishwarya, please. Let me be fair to our friend Rahul Ishwar. I think he has come in late, so he missed the earlier discussion what we were discussing. So what Rahul Ishwar is trying to say is about the preventive steps and what should be taken, steps should be taken to prevent all this thing. But our earlier discussion, Rahul, was that the police are absolving themselves and the Home Minister is saying that these incidents keep on happening and nothing can be done about it. So we are condemning that only. And now let us, I think, take us a discussion to a next level. What Rahul is trying to say is that how to prevent all this thing.
Aishwarya Bhati is very right.
No, there is no dispute about it. There is no dispute about it. Only I am trying to sing between Rahul and
of this country
members of the panel.
should be curtailed to look after her own safety. There is an entire law and order machinery that is meant to look after the safety of every citizen, man and woman alike.
Yes, yes. Okay? Aishwarya is absolutely right.
Batting that ball back into our court and saying, one second, Naveen Chomal, one second. I want to bring in Aijaz Ilmi here. Yes, Rahul, Easwar, go ahead.
No, I think what just one line. My simple contention is, please let us not take a hard feminist position of saying that molesting is a hate crime. No, it is a sex crime. Fondling is not a hate crime. It's a sex crime. It's a crime related to sexuality. Please don't make everything
I'll tell you what, Rahul Easwar, when you're talking about molesting and fondling, let me make it very clear to you, that when we're talking about molestation and we're talking about rape and crime against women, what you will get is an extremely hardline feminist opposition, because that is what is coming on the other side. That is what is coming on the other side. As long as this sort of crime continues to happen in our country, all answers you get will be hardline feminists, because that is the only answer that this country deserves right now. When this sort of thing happens in broad daylight, in front of 1,500 policemen,
I'm happy that you conceded that it is hardline feminism.
The hardline feminist line is what will come. This is how we will defend ourselves. We will not sit quietly. We will not tell you. We will not allow you to tell us what to wear and where to go and how to live our lives. We are feminists. Make your peace with it.
No,
Aijaz Ilmi.
So what's wrong if we are feminists, Mr. Rahul?
With due respect to what you're saying,
I
think one second.
Reactionary and being unrealistic.
Well, can I come in, please?
Aijaz Ilmi, I'm really sorry. Aijaz Ilmi, go ahead.
You're talking about reactionary when there is, you gave the statistics that there is a rape committed.
There is complete dereliction of...
Go ahead, Aijaz Ilmi, go ahead.
It's very, very clear that there's complete dereliction of duty. We have an insensitive, callous attitude, and it's the political will that comes from the top, which gives a message to the police officers and the police on the ground that you have to crack down very, very hard. And it's a trust between the elected government and the citizens that the safety, security, life, liberty, and the fact that you will not get molested or groped or pawed and clawed. It's a responsibility of the government. You have to ensure something. You can't shy away and take excuses that there are a large number of people. It happens on Christmas Day. I mean, the Home Minister should be expelled from the party and made to resign. The Congress must come out clearly and say they stand for safety and security of every citizen. It's an opportunity to come clean and to put an end to this menace of converting a pensioner's paradise into a molester's paradise that Bengaluru is showing signs of.
Suraj Hegde, do you want to respond?
Mere politics, unfortunately.
Yeah, I would like to respond. I heard the Home Minister giving out his whole version there. He tried to tell, practically it is difficult when people come from across the globe to have their party or revel in one particular place. Now the investigations are on. How do we know from which part of the country or which part of the state or which part of the world he is? And the Home Minister even says,
don't be defensive, crack down hard. Don't be defensive. Don't justify it. There are no, Mr. Suraj Hegde, there are no ifs and buts and something like this.
I'm not trying to be defensive,
a sensitive matter.
I'm trying to tell you, I'm just trying to tell.
Please clamp down very, very hard.
The practical difficulties. Today we may be in power, tomorrow somebody else may come into power, somebody else may sit down on the same chair, but these are the practical difficulties.
Okay, see, it's not about politics, gentlemen, 1 second. Suraj Hegde, let me point out to you. Gentlemen, 1 second. Suraj Hegde, let me point out to you 1 second, that people come from across the world to New York City every year to celebrate
we are not going to allow any officer to get away with whatever
Suraj Hegde, people go, Suraj Hegde, 1 second.
And he has to deliver.
Suraj Hegde, people go from across the globe to New York to celebrate New Year's. They go to Sydney to celebrate New Year's. They go to Paris. They go to Dubai. They come to Marine Drive in Mumbai. It happens all over the world. What has happened in Bangalore is proof that the police force was not able to do their jobs. Don't tell me that what happens in Bangalore is for some reason different, and for some reason you're not able to control the crowd in Bangalore, because that sort of revelry happens across the world.
Faye, just give me a minute. No. My argument is not that, Faye. My argument is the Bangalore police is one of the best departments and one of the best police available in India.
Agreed.
They are doing their duty.
Then how did this happen?
Give them the time and space to deliver.
How did this happen?
This is all what I'm
asking for. Give them a free hand to clamp down. They will do it.
And what is most shocking is after the incident, police is trying to play down the incident.
Definitely,
they are saying that these incidents keep on happening every year. So what is new with that? And they are blaming the media. That is what most disturbing for us.
You know, I want to point out, and I want to point out to our viewers why this is so concerning.
You know, the attitude of the government authorities.
Yes. I want to point out to our viewers why this is so concerning. In 2012...
Attitude of the government after the incident is like adding insult to injury.
Well said, well said.
Injury.
I just wanted to say that it's like adding insult to injury. What they are doing is adding insult to injury. And you know, why do you not need... How come cops are completely sensitized about VIP duties? How can cops not be sensitized about gender issues? Why do they need sensitizing? VIP duties, they don't need sensitizing. They are very, very upbeat and they're very smart in doing it.
They don't need sensitizing.
He's right. Allow Bangalore police. If Bangalore police is so good, allow them to clamp down with a free hand. Allow them to do their duty with a free hand and with the courage that they can.
Vikram Singh.
Faye, nothing is easy in the police.
Why do you think there's an interference?
The best
what makes you think there's an interference?
Will not say prove that I am the best. My being the best should be proved only when I get hold of the culprits and put them behind bars. No claim to greatness. Nothing is easy in the police, sir. And the criminal may be from Dubai, he may be from Toronto, he may be from Singapore. But it's the job of the police, and the police have it in them. They have the vigor and the vitality to get after the jugulars, provided that the political will is there.
And Mr. Hegde, it is not interference, it is a callousness of the government that is more disturbing.
Yes. That is more distressing. And if there were to be a trophy for a cavalier statement, an irresponsible statement, it will go to the Home Minister's statement that it is the most cavalier and irresponsible statement ever. The police have it in them. They have the professional expertise to get after the criminals. But in the absence of a single preventive arrest, in the absence of a single arrest and detention under the NSA, you can see that the mark sheet and the work performance, you can assess for yourself where the Bengaluru police stands today. My claiming to be the best, has to be reinforced by the results on the ground, sir, not by tall claims.
Exactly. In fact, there are no claims. They are trying to absolve themselves, blaming it on the woman only.
I think the important thing to ask right now is if there was a large gathering of people on one particular location in Bangalore.
I would definitely.
How did it deteriorate to a point? How did it deteriorate to a point of mass molestation?
I will take a message across to the Home Minister and try to deliver the same thing to him too.
But
please give the police the time to catch those fellows and apprehend them and put them in front of the law.
Now
I think that I'm not asking for much.
As also suspend the police officer on duty and in charge there. Whoever was in charge of the police bandobast there should be placed under suspension immediately.
All criminals and such perverts should be definitely punished, given severe punishment, and be made a model of. But having said that, one more thing. We cannot outsource the entire security of every individual to the state. Individual has a responsibility. Family has a responsibility. Of course, these perverts should be punished. They should be locked up in jail. But our people should take more care. That was the only intention of Minister's statement. We shouldn't toe a hardline, feministic line, saying that every other man is going to be a pervert or every other person is going to do injustice to women. We have to be realistic.
It's not a feministic line.
Even
it
in
can
America,
happen to anybody.
there are more rapes in America proportionately
than in
India.
There were children who were traumatized.
As pointed out by even a leftist thinker like Amartya Sen.
Okay, all right, Rahul, you've made your point. I'm going to take it across to Brinda and Aishwarya. Brinda.
Women must look after themselves.
How can he say that?
So, Brinda, can we stop paying taxes in our cities? Since we have to look after ourselves, we can hire bodyguards. The taxes that we pay to our government to maintain a law and order system and to pay the salaries of our police officers, we should stop paying taxes and start to look after ourselves, because that's obviously what the government expects from us.
Absolutely. Because that's exactly what Easwar is implying. That women must look after themselves. Women must be careful. Women must take precaution. Women must see that these things should be prevented. what is the role and responsibility of the men?
You mean they
of
should
the
be careless?
state? Because when I see a policeman or a woman on the street, I feel safe. Should I not feel safe anymore? Because that is a responsibility and
you should feel safe. But do you mean to say that women should be careless? Women should be reckless? Women should be responsible-less?
By Mr. Rahul Easwar's logic,
don't overstretch any argument. This is called strongman
the responsibility of the state, the police department. The responsibility
Who
is the state,
that,
the
madam?
government, the police department to protect.
Take care,
it's not
because
the individual's responsibility.
There. Women complain to the police.
It is the job of the police to give a total security
And
cover.
the police should
not a
have
part-time,
taken
not a
action.
piecemeal, and not nothing in installments.
Yes.
This
the
is
police
this
are
is
supposed to give
the
a
fact
total
that we are
security
having
cover
this
to all
conversation
citizens.
at
But
all.
the humble point would be, in these kind of large gatherings, there are chances like this.
So don't go out. Rahul Easwar, actually, you know what? Rahul Easwar is going to write a dossier for us.
So should there be no large gathering
Rahul
and
Easwar,
women
don't go
must
out.
not go there?
Tell us what we should be wearing.
Why do
Rahul
you
Easwar,
take
when you
every
say
argument to
Would you
an
like to say
illogical
the same
extreme?
thing to the men?
Why do we
There
take
is a large
every
gathering for
argument
men,
to an
please don't go
illogical
out.
liberal extreme?
Because then
This
women
kind
will
of
be safe.
over-liberalism is unrealistic. This kind of extreme liberalism can only be good in TV shows. This kind
It's
of
got
extreme
nothing to do with
liberalism
liberalism.
can
Don't talk about
It's their right
extreme
to go
liberalism.
whenever they
You are
feel
not
like going
very
out.
concerned about the
And the
security
state
of
has to
women.
protect
When
and
you are
provide
genuinely
for.
concerned about the
You are
security
being
of our
nothing to do with
women, our
liberalism.
sisters, as
It's
a
about
brother,
basic
as a father,
safety and
as a son,
security.
as a friend,
It's
I will
about
tell them
basic
to
safety
take
and
care.
security.
It is not because
Your
of
statement is
chauvinism.
like adding
It is
insult to
because of
injury
a
further,
sense of
Rahul.
security.
and
It
extend
is
No,
because of
Rahul.
a sense of
No,
belongingness.
Rahul.
And
It's the
I
state's
don't
responsibility.
expect state to sit
It is the
around
state's
every police
responsibility. It's
officer
not the
for every
individual's
girl.
responsibility.
Be realistic.
That is the argument that you're adding further insult to injury. It's absolutely realistic. It's the state's responsibility, not the individual's
It
responsibility.
is the state's responsibility, not the individual's responsibility. Crime of any kind
Exactly.
is a law and order issue. Mobs of any kind is a law and order issue. When a mob goes out of control, it is the responsibility of the police and the Home Ministry to handle that mob. What is very obvious from everything that is being said by the government and by the police is that they were expecting a crowd of that size. They've been expecting a crowd of that size every year. That they put the police out, but they had absolutely no plan how to handle the situation when the situation broke out. You know, like Mr. Hegde is saying, Suraj Hegde, we will give you time to nab the culprits, but this conversation is not about nabbing the culprits. The conversation is about the fact that this happened at all.
How in the first place?
How did it happen to begin with? How did it deteriorate so badly? If you knew the people were coming, why weren't the police able to control the crowd? Yes, go out and nab the culprits, but this should have never happened to begin with. And don't tell me it's because women left their homes that night, because Bengaluru is a city that expects its women to go out and work shoulder to shoulder with the men every day in every walk of life. The least you can do is offer them safety in return. Now give me your explanation to the women of Bengaluru. We're listening. 1 second. Yeah. I want to hear the explanation. Now give me your explanation. Suraj Hegde.
See, I am proud of the women of Bangalore because the women of Bangalore have always are equals to the men. We have never treated them differently. And we have never treated them differently at all. But I would like to remind my media friends and the panelists too, when the celebrations were supposed to go on till 1 o'clock in the night, there was hue and cry telling it should be, put up to another hour, take it till 2 o'clock in the night. So? Even that was implemented. See, these things have come up.
See, as per the Constitution of India, Mr. Hegde, as per the Constitution, we have got a welfare state. And one of the responsibility of the state government is citizens.
Naveen Chomal, 1 second. Suraj Hegde, are you saying that because the media put pressure on you, on the government, to allow partying till 1 o'clock at night, the police completely lost their grip over the city? Is that the excuse you're giving us now? It's a new one. We haven't heard this one all day.
No. No, that's the way how you're interpreting it.
Insensitive, Suresh, very insensitive.
No, Suresh, tell me exactly what you said. Suraj, tell me exactly what you said. Suraj Hegde, tell me exactly what you said.
Acknowledge your mistake. Apologize to the citizens. Apologize to the citizens.
What I'm trying to
acknowledge
tell
your
you
mistake and crack down hard. First acknowledge, apologize and crack down. Don't give excuses, Suraj Hegde.
if I can take the pain of the person, I don't mind apologizing. I would apologize.
But the women of Bangalore are watching right now, Suraj Hegde, and none of the answers we're receiving so far are satisfactory.
The entire city is affected. The brand Bengaluru is affected by this.
You know, I just want to point this out, and I'm going to point this out to our viewers. Suraj Hegde, unfortunately, none of the answers you've given us have been satisfactory. But I want to point this out to our viewers. One second, sir, 1 second. I want to point this out to our viewers, and this is the reason why we get so upset. In 2012, in a Guwahati case, a teenager was mob molested by 50 people, including when she was inside a police jeep. August 19, 2015, 30 men in Bangalore molested a college student when she came out of her college in Kumaraswamy layout. She later said that the police asked her lewd questions at 2:30 in the afternoon, which is why she never filed that case. A 20-year-old in Koramangala, July 2014, molested at 9 a.m. Mumbai, Juhu Beach 2008, mob molestation of 2 girls. Gateway of India 2007, mob molestation of 2 girls. Gurgaon, December 31st, 2011, girl molested by a group of people who came out of a bar. Mangalore, 2009, the Sri Ram Sena attacked women who were in a bar. Mangalore, 2012, hardline right-wingers attacked a group of women who were in a resort. Madhya Pradesh, December 18, 2016, a tribal girl was gang raped by a local leader, a local politician, and sent to 3 different police stations before she needed to be hospitalized before anybody took down her complaint. This is the country that we live in. It doesn't matter what government is in power. It doesn't matter what political party is in power. This is the country that we live in. It's us against them. And I will quote what Rahul Easwar said because it's very important. He said, take care. Take care when you vote in the next election, ladies. Take care because you are the only one who's expected to look after yourself. You should make sure that the government you vote in knows its responsibility to 50% of the population of this country. We will not put up with governments who tell us that it's because of what you're wearing. We will not put up with governments who a month after a rape have absolutely no suspects and no arrests and have made absolutely no progress. We will not allow these police forces to walk around calling themselves the best forces in the country. Do your job. Be accountable to your citizens. And women are citizens. We thank you to remember that. Good night.
You can watch live TV on our website mbnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Magicbricks Now. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at Magicbricks Now. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/Magicbricks Now.